Maple Leaf mock trade. Matias Maccelli for Michael Bunting. What do we think? Hear me out, okay? The Matias Maccelli experiment is probably over. A lot of us had high hopes for him this year, myself included, but it was always going to be top 6 or bust for him on this team. He wasn't able to develop chemistry with anyone in the top 6, and he's certainly not the type of player that Berube wants in the bottom 6, in this system. So that's why he's the odd man out again tonight. Let's make a good old-fashioned hockey trade. The league needs more one-for-one good old-fashioned hockey trades. Here we go. Nashville, Bunting, Leafs, Maccelli. Let's get it done. It's a good deal for both sides. Here's why. For the Leafs, you get Bunting, good depth add. You can play him anywhere up and down the lineup. Don't forget he had a couple 20-goal seasons with Austin Matthews. Max told me he's not the answer for that top line long-term. I'm not saying that Bunting is either, but, is that reunion worth a low-risk, potentially high-reward shot? I don't know, maybe. But more importantly, if the Leafs make the playoffs, which I believe they will still be lacking guys that play with an edge. And if the Florida Panthers have taught us anything, it said in order to beat them in the playoffs, assuming they get there, which they might not, but that's a different story. But in order to beat Florida in the playoffs, you got to play borderline dirty like they do in the playoffs, like the NHL has allowed them to play in the playoffs. And you need guys that play with an edge, and not just to beat Florida, like to win 4 rounds in the playoffs in general. You need a few guys that have some screws loose, and Bunting is kind of one of those guys. Now some people would say, yeah, he's great, he's an agitator, he's aggressive, he'll get in your face, he'll piss you off, but he's too much of a liability. He takes too many dumb penalties, which he does, but he also draws a lot of penalties, which the Leafs in general don't do. But what I'm thinking is, if there's anybody that could keep him, playing on the edge and not crossing it, would it not be Berube? You know what I mean? So maybe it's worth a shot. Now, if you're Nashville, why would you want to do this? Well, Bunting is a 29-year-old UFA at the end of the year. He was very likely not re-signing with the team. With Maccelli, they would get a 23-year-old RFA whose rights are now controlling. And he's got a 57-point season under his belt. The potential is still there with him. If they played him with the right players in more of an offensive-minded system, he could still blossom into a pretty good winger. So maybe that's how Nashville could look at it. And the money almost works as well. Like Maccelli's at 3.5 and Bunting is at 4.5. So, we'll throw in a 6th-round pick for Nashville to eat a little bit. And if they don't want to do that deal, how about Yossi for Morgan Riley? You know what? Let's do that one instead, actually. That's a little bit better. Guys, drop a comment or thoughts. Thanks for watching. And go Leafs go.